welcome to the first episode of Jagged Politics. Well, I initially wanted to upload a few videos before now, but, well, I've just not really had the time. So, anyway, here we go. A lot has happened in the last few weeks, a hell of a lot. Too much really to sort of go into in this. I'm going to try and keep these around the 20-minute mark or so. But anyway, as I say, a lot has happened. Palestine, Israel, Mandelson, Gary Neville, and so on. So, first of all, I think after the peace talks with Israel and the Palestinian Authority releasing the hostages, great to see. Glad there's been some resolution. I really didn't think anything of the sort would come of it, but I'm very pleased that all the hostages have been released. Unfortunately, there are a lot of casualties, and my thoughts and prayers are with the families. So anyway, glad to see there's progress been made there. But I have to see, I was ashamed to see our Prime Minister there in Egypt for the whole process, considering he offered absolutely nothing. You know, if anything, it has been said that if anything, he has delayed progress. He has made it more difficult. Now, I'm not exactly Donald Trump's biggest fan when I say this, but you have to give him credit. I think we must recognise that we need to give him credit, because without him, those hostages would still be in the tunnels in Gaza right now. So you do have to give him credit. But I've seen a lot of people sort of on the left side of the political spectrum not recognising that. They still say, oh, he's a puppet of Vladimir Putin and all this nonsense. Now, they do have to give him credit. They really do. I mean, come on. The left are supposedly anti-war, pro-peace, no hate, whatnot, and all that. But, you know, everyone on the left supported Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Well, what did they do? They did nothing. If anything, they just provoked things further. So, and I did not like Joe Biden. I didn't think he was right for America. And I think Kamala Harris would have been much worse. I think if Kamala Harris was president right now of the United States, we wouldn't have had what has happened. I would say, really, the last nearly a year since Donald Trump's come in. As I said, I'm not Donald Trump's biggest fan, but I think right now he is what the world needs. We need someone who is thorough. I would say has principles, because I can't really say Kamala Harris had any principles. I mean, she wants to defund the police and all this other claptrap stupidness, and I can see why Donald Trump won. A lot of things he says is outrageous, and at first I'm like, what? You know? But somehow or other, it does turn out to be true. So, I'm sort of beyond, nothing shocks me now, politically. Anyway, I was shocked to see Kier Starmer there, and I just thought that video of him where Trump's going through the list of countries that were present there, it was embarrassing. I mean, you could see Kier Starmer was thinking, this is my moment to talk, and then he just gets shut down immediately. I mean, that look of embarrassment on his face. And I don't know if you've seen what Giorgia Meloni has said since, but you know, she is a great Prime Minister of Italy. Seeing what she's done there, that is, I have no idea. But I think right now, the United Kingdom is in a hell of a mess. Unemployment is up, inflation is up, growth is down, and you can just see what this Labour government are. I mean, this digital ID nonsense. I'm not a supporter of it, because if you look what's happened in countries that do use digital ID, India, it has already been hacked. Now, if that happens here, it's gonna be the same thing. And it's all very well Kier Starmer saying all this stupidness, that it's gonna make payments easier. Well, not just payments, it's gonna make things easier for criminals. Come on. There's reason there is security checks in place. I mean, you say it's going to be easy to make payments, as I was just saying. For me, it's no hassle putting in details in my current banking app with HSBC or Lloyds or whoever you're with. You put in the account details of the person you want to pay, and then it does it that way. There's nothing wrong with that system of making payments. It's a load of claptrap what this Prime Minister is saying. I refuse to call him sir as well, because he is not honourable. He should have it stripped from him as far as I'm concerned. But as I said, I'm trying to make things a bit balanced here. I do see the benefits of digital ID, but at the same time, it is open to corruption and state control. Now, if you look at countries that are fully state controlled, like China, North Korea, Russia, so many years, they're all communist countries. Communism wants state control, and Kier Starmer is a communist. So all these people on the left saying, oh, he's a Tory in red. He's not, he's a communist. This is communism, for God's sake. Communism has started more wars than religion. I mean, yes, religion's had its fair share of conflict and whatnot, but communism, a lot of people hate communism. There are only those who like communism who think that it's a good idea because of, well, they've been indoctrinated, essentially. And I'm sorry, but communism is not the way forward. Communism is suppression and oppression. That's what people need to realise. The only people who are in power in a communist state are the politicians. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's a bad idea. Because if they have the power for everything, that is just bad news for the rest of us, because that means we cannot successfully run our own business and other things like that. It's keeping people in line in their position. India has a system like that. And I'm not sure if India is actually sort of classed as communist. But India has a system where essentially people are kept in a certain line, economic class, if you like. Now, I don't like that. I think people should be allowed to have the freedom to progress in life. And that is exactly what I am all about. If you want to run your own business and it brings you a lot of success, then great, you've deserved it. Communism's the opposite of that. And all these other parties on the left, Labour, they are communist. The Fabian Society is predominantly built on communism. I mean, the logo of that Fabian Society is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Come on. We need people in the Fabian Society to be out of politics. I think the Fabian Society is dangerous. I'm still doing my research on the Fabian Society. But I think the Fabian Society is more of a cult, I think. It's more of a group of, a cult, as I say, of people who have the same ideology of communism. And they want to, this is essentially what's happening now in the UK. We are slowly transitioning to becoming a communist state. under Kier Starmer. And I won't be surprised at this at all. But the last 30 or so years, I'm still doing my research into this. It's scary. It really is. I mean, you look at what's in place. There are certain people in power that I think shouldn't be there, and then you've got people who are quite happy to be their puppets. Now, deep state I'm talking about, essentially. Now, I think this is something drastic needs to change. We need change urgently, because I'm seeing everything I'm seeing now essentially has happened before in other countries. Russia, even Iran. I would say it's a mix of the two, Iran and Russia. Communism's coming over. And then, of course, essentially with Iran, it's predominantly certain things with Islam. Now, I'm not Islamophobe, whatever that sort of means. I'm not racist against Islam or anything like that. I have Muslim friends. And I'm not judging Muslims when I say this. But on Islam in particular, there are certain things, like Sharia law, like what it really is. It's not something that attracts me, per se. I think there are things in Islam, I know it's a bit of a sensitive subject, but I think there are things in Islam that need to evolve, shall we say, the ideology. But I'll probably do another video on that. So yeah, I just sort of see the state this country is turning into, and I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. But anyway, these people really do need to be kept out of politics. They really do. Communists. And I won't be surprised, because I don't think Kier Starmer has any principles. I think he's a puppet of Tony Blair. I think we're just seeing a continuation of Tony Blair's government. And I think Tony Blair, I think he's a clever, cunning man, Tony Blair, I'll say that. But this Kier Starmer, he just has no idea. I mean, you've just got to look at him, and he looks lost. He has no idea what he is doing. He just doesn't. He looks blank every time you look at him. And I think, well, I think we all know what I think now. But essentially, he's got to go. But who's going to take over? Anyway, thanks very much for listening. Tune in for the next one. Remember to like and subscribe if you like, if this video didn't bore you too much. Anyway, till the next one.